Hi, I'm State Representative Jason Ortitay of the 46th District, which includes parts of Allegheny and Washington counties. I'd like to take the next few minutes to talk about our state budget and ideas on how we can reinvent Pennsylvania state government. At the conclusion of this video, I will provide information on how to submit your ideas so that your voice can be heard. I highly encourage you to participate. Over the last 2 decades, running budget deficits has become the norm for Pennsylvania. We've seen government spending in the last 10 years alone increase by over $10 billion. We've also seen a raise in the personal income and sales tax to pay for increased state spending. What we need in Pennsylvania is a vibrant economy. If we've proved anything over the last 2 decades, it's that government can't grow our economy. Of our surrounding states, we have the highest unemployment rate. We need to get people back to work. Higher government spending isn't going to accomplish that. Instead of trying to balance our state budget by picking and choosing various taxes to raise on the people of this Commonwealth, we should look for a different approach. After all, we've been doing this for years and expecting a different outcome. Let's take last budget year as an example. To fill our budget deficit, the state decided to raise a cigarette tax. Even with the increase in the tax rate, we've seen far less revenue from it than the previous year. That's just one example. This year, we're looking at a technology tax, lifting sales tax exemptions, and a slew of other tax increases. Sound familiar? Haven't we been doing this for the last 2 decades? The definition of insanity is repeating the same process over and over again, expecting a different result. I think it's time Pennsylvania stopped the insanity. It's time for us to work on policies that are different, policies that will break the cycle of insanity. Of course, it's not going to be easy, but it's better to try something new than to continue down this path year after year of budget deficits. We need to get to a place where we have a budget surplus and a fully funded rainy day fund. That is why I introduced legislation to reduce the corporate tax rate, which is the second highest in the country at 9.99% to 4.99%. We need to show the rest of the country that Pennsylvania is open for business and that we want companies to come here and hire our citizens. After all, we have one of the best workforces in the country. I know some people are skeptical. They say we'll lose revenue in the short term, and they're right. We need to stop thinking about the short term and plan for the long-term success of our state. I'll give you an example of how this has already worked. North Carolina cut their corporate tax rate over 10 years ago. They had budget deficits year after year, just like we do. Since they cut taxes, they've added more than 400,000 jobs to their economy. Pennsylvania has added 89,000 jobs. North Carolina no longer has budget deficits. They have a surplus and a fully funded rainy day fund. We're a bigger state. We can do it bigger and better. And instead of losing our state's greatest natural resources, our youth, we can keep them here with well-paying, family-sustaining jobs. And I don't want to stop there. We also need to level the playing field in our state. By reducing corporate taxes, all businesses in our state can benefit. By paying out hundreds of millions of dollars in tax credits and abatements, we give an unfair advantage to new businesses in our state at the cost of our dedicated existing companies. I think it's time the people of Pennsylvania got a tax cut. All we hear about from government is what and when will be the next tax increase. The last personal income tax rate increase was supposed to be temporary under then Governor Rendell. It's time to give that back to the hardworking people of this state. I will be introducing legislation that lowers the personal income tax rate from 3.07% to 2.82%. We in state government need to stop chasing money by thinking we can continue to raise taxes to get the revenue we need to spend more money. This is only one side of the equation. I'm also proposing we look at how and where we spend your tax dollars. We need to look at every single agency and department and ask ourselves, should state government be involved in this? It's not 1975 anymore. This is 2017. We need to modernize and update our government. I have several proposals on how to do this. Last year, we saw the unemployment system essentially fail. After hundreds of millions of dollars over 2 different administrations that were supposed to upgrade that system, we found out through an audit that money was not spent as intended, nor was it tracked appropriately. Too many people had to find out the hard way. I'm proposing that we form a new department in state government, the Information Systems and Technology Department, with an appointed director of technology to run the department. As part of this, I would pull every IT employee from every agency and department in state government and centralize them. From there, I propose the department be split into 2. One part that handles all new technology implementations and upgrades, and the other part to handle customer service and support for all agencies and departments. This will help keep program upgrades on schedule and on budget instead of tasking each individual department with managing the entire process. Had this been in place, the unemployment system fiasco may have never happened. Not only are there budget savings for this budget year, but for years to come in the future, lost time plus added effectiveness and efficiency. I have ideas too where we can save money in PennDOT. My first proposal will help us build more roads and bridges. PennDOT currently outsources or contracts with private companies to repair our bridges and roads. That accounts for about 70% of all new construction in the state. And why stop at 70%? If we take the approximately $273 million we spend on staff to complete the other 30% of projects and apply it the same way we do with the majority of our projects, we can get more roads and bridges built every year, and faster too. Now I know what you're probably thinking. $273 million is a lot of staff, and I agree. I believe any loss of government jobs in this will result in more jobs in the economy, as companies would have to hire more people to complete more projects. If I were them, I'd look to PennDOT employees with experience right off the bat. Maintenance, snow plowing, and other duties done by PennDOT would not change under this proposal. My second proposal within PennDOT is to reduce the number of regional districts throughout the state. With the advent of technology, computers, and Wi-Fi, do we really have a need for 11 separate district offices? In his first term, the Auditor General used technology to reduce his staff by 30% and increase productivity by 30% by allowing employees to work from home and shutting down office locations. We still have a need for these office locations for meetings and staff, which is why I'm proposing we go from 11 districts to 5, leaving all the storage shed, maintenance buildings, and other buildings untouched for continued use. I believe there are substantial savings here. Overall, state government needs to be better. I don't have all the answers. This is why I will continue to work with anyone and everyone, including leadership in the House and Senate and the governor himself, to get Pennsylvania off this cycle of insanity and on the road to solid ground once again. We need to look at government differently, not just the role of government, but how it operates. It is my hope not to give the people of this Commonwealth the government they need, but the government they deserve. Don't forget to send me your ideas. My contact information will be displayed on the screen momentarily. Thank you.